Hey everyone, thanks for joining me giving a demo of Datadog today. My name's Anthony. I'll be giving you guys a rundown of Datadog. So as some of you guys already know, Datadog is a SaaS platform that's going to allow you to monitor your cloud applications. We're going to be able to really collect your metrics, your logs, and your traces all in one unified platform so that your developers, your engineers, and your security team can detect and troubleshoot issues in real time. What we're currently seeing right here is a screen board showcasing some of our widgets. We can see here that it's scoped to this e-commerce site that we have set up. We have many types of widgets. Some of these widgets you can see right here shows the uptime of our website. See here it's 100%, which is fantastic. Right below it, we have some APM metrics such as average requests per second, the error rate, and the average latency. Going to the rest of this screen board, you can see that we can really pull in information from various places throughout Datadog, such as APM information, infrastructure metrics, and logs. And we can also pivot into different parts of the platform, whether that's our synthetic tests, RUM, or network performance monitoring metrics. Datadog has over 400 plus vendor-backed integrations from our cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP, as well as databases and communication tools. So for something like AWS, it's going to be really easy to set up. You're just going to need to set up a role in your IAM console and provide us just read-only access to that specific account. So once you set up the necessary tile right here to set up your AWS account, you're able to really collect metrics that you can see over in this tab. They're present for all our integrations, and they also come out with an out-of-the-box dashboard as well. For AWS, there's also the ability to collect logs if you wish to do so. But for something that's more locally based, you might want to integrate with our agent. So right here on tab for agent, we support, this is going to be a lightweight daemon that's going to be what's responsible for collecting your metrics, your logs, and your traces and be sent to Datadog. So we support operating systems such as macOS, Windows, major flavors of Linux. If you're using containers, Docker and Kubernetes as well, and also configuration management tools such as Chef, Puppet, and Ansible to help you deploy the agent through your fleet of hosts really fast and easy. Once you set up the host or set up the agent, you have access to some high-level views such as the host map. So the host map is going to provide you a bird's eye view. There's some hotspots or issues might be occurring within your environment. Each hexagon represents a specific host, and the current view that we see right here is scoped to this metric called percent utilized. But you can really pick any metric that you actually want to view. We can also change the color coding to something that's more pleasant to the eye, if you like to do so. So maybe we want cool as well. Because we're pulling in information from cloud providers, we can use the tags that are being set on that and to slice and dice our hosts the way we want them to. So maybe you want to slice and dice them by availability zone, as well as second dimension, maybe by cloud provider, to see what might be going on within each cloud provider in regards to percent CPU utilized. If we want, we can always click on one of these groups right here for more information. So it looks like this one's running a lot of CPU. You see information on which application is running it. In this case, it's running GCP. It's being crawled from the integration, and we can see that it's specified on the CPU utilized of 97%. We also get some tags that being pulled in from GCP, as well as any tags that are being pulled in from the Datadog side as well. We also have a similar view, but instead of hosts, we also have it for containers. If I switch over to the containers map, we are able to get more information on our containers and see how those are in our environment. Typically, because we're speaking about containers, we're thinking about microservices, and that's going to bring us to the service map. The service map is going to show us all the services that are within our application or our environment, and show us how the flow of data is currently set within here. So if I hover my cursor through maybe the specific service called Web Store, we can see the flow of information from Web Store to all these other microservices. We can see a much clearer view of it by inspecting it and see exactly what the dependencies are. This is great for identifying things like bottlenecks, or maybe during an outage incident, maybe we can see exactly how it's being affected in other parts of our application directly. From this place, we can also hop into other parts of our platform. So if I click on the Web Store, we can hop into things like the host map, related processes, related logs, any related monitors, and also app analytics. Since we're particularly interested in our application and maybe our traces, let's hop into app analytics to view exactly how our endpoints are looking. So right here, we're scoped to the app analytics. We can see things like the total requests overall, total errors, and latency. We have the ability to filter down on specific statuses, environments, services. So maybe I'm interested in error traces because I'm in an outage incident, and I'm particularly interested in a specific error. So if I hover to my error type, maybe I want payment service unavailable errors. Let's hop into that. And we can see that we easily filter down on the traces that match this particular search. I'm gonna click on the first one, and we can see here that what we're seeing right here, what we call the flame graph. So the flame graph shows us one request to this endpoint and shows us all the requests that are involved within this request. So we see all the services, such as maybe some Rails controller actions, some HTTP requests, and also some servlet requests as well. On top of that, we not only just get the APM information, but we also get information on our infrastructure metrics, and all our logs that are related to our application. So we get a lot of information all in one place on a single pane of glass. Lastly, before we hop into our logs to just troubleshoot further into these specific errors, we can see that we have an errors tab to show us all those helpful error messages that we see right here. In this case, we're getting some file 3s, as well as these full error stack traces, which are going to be incredibly helpful in identifying where in our line of code we need to dive into in order to fix these outages and incidents that might be causing issues with for our customers. So now we're going to dive into our logs to see exactly what might be going on using our logs platform. We're going to dive into this log right here. So we can see right here that we're hopping to our logs platform. Looks very similar to what we saw with the app analytics. So relatively easy to get around using the Datadog platform. We click on, let's say, the first log. We can see information on which host is sending this log, which service is related to, as well as all those helpful tags that are being attached to this log to help us identify where this information is living, as well as the full error message, in this case, the file 3 log message right here. And if your log is coming in as JSON, we're going to automatically parse them out on ingestion to get you a much better sense of the metadata within your application or your log. If we remove this trace ID, we can see that we have a lot of logs involved. We can use the same facets on the sides to quickly filter down on a subset of logs. So maybe web store and also error logs as well. It looks like we have almost 300,000 results, which is quite a lot of logs to look through. So in order to resolve this, we can actually have a great patterns feature to help you identify what the nature of your logs are during maybe an outage incident. So we've reduced the number of logs from around 300,000 events to just 19 patterns, which is fantastic to just get a look at on these 19 patterns to get a better sense of what might be going on. If we wanted to graph one of these metrics using our dashboard, correlate these metrics with other infrastructure metrics or APM metrics, we can use our second type of dashboard, which is a time board. So here, performance metrics, we get database metrics all in one place to help us troubleshoot our issues. One way to troubleshoot issues is to see if we have any sort of events might be correlated with our metrics. So we can overlay let's say our Jenkins events next to our metrics, and each event is indicative of this pink line that we see right here. And this is going to help us hypothesize if maybe these events could have caused particular spikes in our metrics and troubleshoot from there. So just it's a great way to overall check to see what might be going on with particular spikes. We also see that we have some anomaly functions on our metrics, such as this forecast, widget that we see right here to forecast how our metric is going to behave in the future. But if we really want it to be proactive, we should be monitoring these things when, if in the case they do happen, and take action accordingly. So since Datadog is a monitoring platform, we do have some monitors. Some of the monitors that we have here are for static monitors, such as metric monitors, some machine learning ones, such as anomaly detection, to detect if there's any sort of anomalous behavior happening based off historical data. And lastly, also composite monitors to help you reduce alert fatigue and also false positives by combining monitors together using Boolean logic and making sure that you're getting an actionable and single alert from this. I also want to talk about Watchdog, which is going to help. This comes right at us, which is fantastic. And this is going to help you identify the unknowns of the unknowns. And what I mean by that is that Watchdog is going to identify if there's any sort of anomalous behavior that anyone that we might not be exactly looking for, because let's be honest, it's really hard to know exactly what to monitor. So you see right here that we present these as stories to identify things like maybe an error rate going up, a hit rate has been going up, and we can set up monitors for this to be alerted when this happens. And this is for your application as well as your infrastructure. We also have synthetic tests for monitoring your endpoints as well and your customer's experience. So what we're seeing right here is our e-commerce website called Shopify, and we have an iframe right here at the very right. So we can record tests to make sure that our customers are experiencing the website how we wish them to experience it. So we click on this share, let's say it's going to record a test right here, and we can click on add cart and then record another test as well. And the great thing about this is that we have machine learning, so that in the case these buttons may be a different color, or maybe it's shifted over a little bit, we have machine learning to determine that we're going to update our tests automatically so that you spend less time managing scripts and also reduce any sort of false positives. So just to go over what we've done, we went from identifying some of our integrations, our performance in our applications. We went into our code and also identified things where we want to look into based on our logs and our traces. And we decided to be more proactive by setting up some monitors, whether that's our composite monitors, maybe look into Watchdog, and also synthetics to make sure that our endpoints are working properly. And that pretty much wraps up the demo. If you guys enjoyed what you saw today, feel free to sign up for a trial and also have the ability to win an iPhone 11 Pro. And I'll leave the rest of the time for any sort of questions you guys might have.